Hey everybody, it's me, the Real Kid BC. And lately, forgotten video game mascots have been making a comeback, and I find that really interesting because, well, like I just said, these are forgotten video game mascots. These are characters that fell into obscurity quite some time ago, and now a few of them are actually making a comeback. Some actually do manage to succeed, some not really, and some just end up being in the middle. Maybe they succeeded a little bit, but not enough to make a second game. So, yeah. Really, it just depends on how you do it. It depends on the character and the marketing and how the game is made. It also depends on, in general, if people really care about the character or if the character has been redone by the very people that are developing the game themselves. Um, Of course, I myself am no stranger to forgotten video game mascots. Though it's funny that I said that because I didn't really know half of these characters even really existed to begin with, but whatever. Because I found out about these people, um, these forgotten mascots, from other people. I found out about them from like other people on YouTube and different parts of the internet because I had no idea that they even existed. Um, and that's my point right there. They fell into relative obscurity. Every now and then they'd be brought up, but for the most part, they were usually forgotten, and usually for very good reason. Um, who am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about characters like Bubsy and Gex and who else? Oh wait, KO the Kangaroo and Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Now, okay, I know a lot of you are looking at me, um, like actually maybe not even a lot of you, maybe to some of you, because maybe some of you um, don't even know who these people are. Maybe most of you know who these people are now, but whatever. I'm sure some of you are looking at me like, who are you talking about? Who are these characters? And where did they come from? Well, they came from a bygone era of mascot. Um, yeah, I was about to say mascot platformers, but not all of them were platform video games. Some of them were puzzle games. Some of them Right, some of them were fighting games, I believe, but most of the characters that I'm talking about do come from 3D platformers. Um, most of them, not all of them. Um, so yeah. Now a lot of these characters exist because they were trying to ride the coattails of both Mario and Sonic, right? And of course people like Crash and Spyro. Can't forget about them either, because those four those four are obviously some of the most popular and most well-known mascots in gaming. These characters tried to ape off of them, but more so Mario and Sonic specifically. Um, I think I should start with Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Now, back in the day, Ty tried to go after people like Sonic and Crash and Spyro. Didn't really work out though. And not for nothing, but his games weren't bad. Sure, they weren't really great, but they weren't terrible either, far from it. They were actually decent. And from what I know of, they actually got better as time went on. Not to mention the fact that Ty actually has a good amount of personality about him. Sure, he's not on the same level as Mario or Sonic or Crash, but he actually does have a well-rounded personality, in my opinion. He's not like super cocky or anything like that. Nor is he brash and rambunctious or whatever. Um, he's not like overconfident or whatever, but at the same time, he's also not a silent protagonist. He can talk, but like I said, he's not overly confident. He knows his strengths and he knows his weaknesses. He's a nice dude, but obviously he knows that it's time to get the job done, and he doesn't really crack a lot of quips like Sonic would do. So yeah, sure there'll be comedic moments in his games, but he won't really be cracking too many jokes. Maybe every now and then, sure, but that's not really his strong suit. He's just a nice, meaning, well-rounded character, and really, um, Ty actually is one of the better examples of a mascot coming back because again, like I said, his games are decent, and they actually meant to get better over time. And you can actually get the feel for Ty as a character. You can actually um, warm up to him pretty quickly. Like, he's a fairly likable character. I'm not gonna lie. Unlike someone like Bubsy, who is a blatant Sonic slash Mario ripoff, who is one of the most annoying video game mascots that I have ever seen. And he should have never come back, but he did. Though, he's once again fallen into the well of obscurity where he belongs, because his most recent game didn't really do so well. Which is funny because Ty's most recent game, um, I'm just gonna guess and say that it did fairly well. um, um, honestly, I haven't really checked up on Ty too much, but I'm guessing his his games did decently well. Um, then you have KO the Kangaroo, who I know even less about, but he's a kangaroo with boxing gloves, and his games were okay. They were decent. His personality is it's all right, I guess. It's not as interesting as Ty's, but much like Ty, KO is very well meaning. He doesn't really have much of a problem saving people. Um, Heck, the whole reason why he's doing what he's doing is because he wants to rescue his father and his little sister. He has no qualms about it, and he'll face bad guys without really much of without really much hesitation. Sure, he's not like super brave or super manly or whatever. He's a fairly kind person, sure, but he won't hesitate to beat up some bad guys. Um, but then you also have Blinks. Now Blinks is rather interesting because Blinks is a cat, but he can manipulate time. Back in the OG Xbox days, he was originally supposed to be Xbox's mascot before Xbox's mascot eventually ended up becoming Master Chief. And by eventually, I mean very quickly. Um, but honestly, looking back, Blinks' games were decent. They weren't too bad, but they weren't great either. They were decent. Um, he got 2 games. Honestly, he could easily get a third if Xbox ever does decide to bring him back. Honestly, his games were fairly inventive. They were unique, and it's not like he was trying to rip off of Mario and Sonic necessarily. Um, I guess you could say that. Well, his games again, because they dealt with time, they were they were more unique and fairly interesting, and they were more puzzle based than than they were platform based. Because as it turns out, Blinks was a puzzle platformer. There were puzzles in his games. He didn't just do platforming. Um, Blinks himself has an okay personality. Um, her personality doesn't really shine through too much. Um, but of course, Blinks, um, he's not super sarcastic. He's well-meaning, but at the same time, um, his personality seems fairly generic. Um, hopefully, um, hopefully, if they do ever decide to bring him back, then maybe they could give him a more interesting personality. Um, make him a bit more interesting. They don't necessarily have to make him super deep or anything. Just make him maybe, I don't know. Maybe just have him have more of a professional type personality, um, and act like he's one of those wise beyond his years type of characters, but at the same time he still has so much to learn. I don't know, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind him coming back, um, and it'd be cool if he did. But yeah, um, though there are other video game mascots that may make a comeback, but I'm not sure. I don't really want to predict which will because, well, it's hard to tell. Most video game mascots from like the 2000s were forgotten for very good reason. Most of them, in my opinion, don't really deserve to come back because they didn't really add much. They didn't bring much to the table. They were just blatant Sonic, Mario, or Crash and Spyro ripoffs. So there you go. Some of them were decent. Some of them had potential, but most of them were just, again, they were just copies of Mario and Sonic, or Crash and Spyro and so on. Because they were so popular that people tried to copy off of them, but usually it didn't work. So yeah, but there are a few hidden gems in there when it comes to um, forgotten video game mascots. But yeah, that's all I got. What do you guys think? Do you like these people? Do you like these forgotten characters? Do you not like these forgotten characters? Did you think they were interesting when they first came out, or did you think there was nothing to them? Oh wait, hang on a moment. I can't end the video yet. I forgot one more person. I forgot about Gex. How could I forget about Gex? I must be crazy. Sorry about that. Yeah, Gex. Gex is an interesting dude. He's basically the Deadpool of the video game world. And if you know who Deadpool is, then, well, then already you know who Gex is. Now, Gex is a loudmouth, incredibly overconfident, and full of himself. Of course, he's a gecko, and he's got a lot of attitude. Now, his games are decent. All of them are, again, they're not bad, but they're not that good. They're alright, I guess. Gex in his games used to make tons and tons of references. Most of them are pretty outdated now. Not to mention the fact that Gex fancies himself a ladies' man. Whether he actually is one or not, that's up for you to decide. I would say I guess he's a bit of a ladies' man. He's got a decent amount of charm about him and a good amount of swagger. He's definitely confident in his abilities to pick up women, so I'll give him that. But yeah, honestly, he's making a comeback. Now, Gex is definitely also someone that I wouldn't mind coming back, even if he does seem like he'd get on your nerves fairly quickly. But yeah, Gex is one of those characters that I can't hate. At first, yeah, he seems like yet another Sonic ripoff, but honestly, he's got more charm than most Sonic ripoffs, or most people that try to copy off of Mario and Sonic in general, so I'll definitely give him that any day of the week. So I'm glad he's making a comeback. But yeah, that's all I got. Like I said before, sorry about that. Again, it's been a while since I've checked up on Gex. All right, these people are forgotten video game mascots for a reason. I ain't gonna remember all of them people, and you shouldn't expect me to. You really shouldn't. Yeah, most of these characters were just obscure, and the fact that they're even making a comeback itself is a miracle. So yeah, and hell, not even all the characters that I mentioned are making a comeback. Like Blinks isn't coming back. So yeah, at least not yet. There's still a chance that he could, small as it is, but still, it's possible, obviously. But yeah, what do you think of these characters? Like I said before, do you like them? Do you not like them? Did you forget all about them? Or did you play some of these games, or maybe all of them, in your childhood? Please let me know in the comment section. And as per usual, please don't forget to check the description, because all of the important stuff is in it. If you want more of me, I won't tell you what to do. I won't hold your hand through the process. You know exactly what to do. So yeah, Real King out. Have a nice day, people.